So I want to talk about things girls assume about men, na hii ni kusema hizi ni vitu zenye probably madem take for granted or don't know too much about men. Okay, so hizi ni vitu zenye wana taking for granted. They really don't have so much information on these things that I'm gonna talk about. Number one, men value their dreams and their visions. So ukiona mwanaume amefunguka, ameanza kuambia vision yake, ameanza kuambia dream yake, if he sees you're not interested ama you're not invested in that conversation, imagine atakuwa amekuweka red flag pahali, cause anaona huyu ni msemo mwenyewe hata hezi ni support kwa dream yangu, hezi ni support kwa vision yangu. So you see, if it's a guy who is genuinely hata yeye atakuwa interested in your vision and you are probably what's your dream in life, okay, ni unataka kuachieve, atakuwa invested. But anytime he sees where hauna interest na dream yake, he will not be invested in your dream because it's something that should be reciprocated. All right, so anytime you need to know that a man values his dream and his vision sana sana sana. The other thing also is, don't assume the fact that men hate to be controlled ama the feeling of being controlled. Wanaume wanachukia kukontroliwa. So anytime they go into a relationship with you and they start to feel ni kama unamcontrol, that guy will start to remove himself from that relationship because anataka kukuonesha mimi hakuna pali umenishika, mimi hakuna pali umenifunga. So if you try to show a man ati the more una try kuonesha mwanaume unamcontrol, the more he wants to show you, by the way, me you cannot control me, you cannot cage me, you cannot tame me, you cannot make, you always nieka kwa kakona kako udhani ati nitafanya kenye unataka. Okay, so men don't want the feeling of being controlled, or men don't want to be controlled. That's the other thing. Kitu ingine also I see ladies assume sana ni history conversation ya gender roles na cooking. You know, women assume it and think it's a small conversation for men, but for a guy what you're telling him is you won't do what he wants you to do. Ukianza kumwambia ati hutakuwa unampikia ama you won't be cooking ama you'll be taking turns cooking for each other, anaona we kwani, you know, it's like you don't respect him. And let me tell you, even in the dating scene we have seen different men. Unapata mwanaume anapikiwa mandazi bucket mzima. Hebu jiulize the last time you cooked for a man, mandazi ukampelekea. So other men have been cooked for. Hizo ndio vitu wanapikiwa. Wengine wanapikiwa hadi samaki, wengine wanapikiwa hadi, wanatengeneza hadi sandwich wanapelekewa. And then you are there as a lady and you are saying that you don't want to cook, hautawaipikia mwanaume. Let me just tell you, by the way, you're gonna lose your chances of finding a good guy. Why? Because every man values a lady mwenye anaenda kitchen ampikie, akuje amserve, and even go to the extent of kumpe na kijiko. Okay, but don't be lied to na hawa different ladies wenye wako na twisted ideas of what maybe a marriage should look like. And the sad thing yati, hata saa zingine wale madem wenye wanakonga wakimislead madem and young ladies for that fact, ni madem wenye wako marriage, wako already in situations, wako already in relationship, wako already in a marriage situation. Hao ndo wanawa mislead juu either probably brand yake ni slay queen type. So she's trying to say the things that maybe unataka kusikia as a lady, but that's not true. I'm here to tell you, never assume the fact that a guy wants you to cook for him. Hata kama hatakwambia, hata kama atajifanya, ebu angalia reaction yake ukimpikia, angalia reaction yake ukimuandalia, uone venye utaona huo msee kuna venye amechangamka, kuna venye ameanza kukuona differently. So never assume that thing. Guys want to be cooked for, guys want to be served, and possibly ukitaka kutukulisha, by the way unaweza tukulisha. Okay, the other thing I think girls assume is the fact that when it comes to a relationship, not every man knows how to be romantic. Okay, so swai kwa hapo unasema ati hey, you are not even romantic, hata ukwagi romantic. So most men hawajui what it means to be romantic. Maybe mwanaume anadhani kukuwa romantic ni kupe gift. Okay, and even when atakuletea hiyo gift atakuwa like shika, cause he doesn't know how to be romantic. And you see, being romantic si kitu ati unaweza enda class ufunzwe, si kitu ati unaweza watch movie ulan. Kama iko ndani yako iko ndani yako, kama haiko ndani yako haiko ndani yako. Okay, and that's why you see that a guy can try to be romantic and yet you feel like maybe this guy is trying so hard ama anafanya too much, is because haiko ndani yake. Okay, so you just have to give them time. And I love what another lady said on a podcast. Akasema sometimes what you want a guy to do for you, mwambie. Tell him the things that you want him to do for you. Maybe you love chocolate, umwambie, umsuggestie, umwambie by the way babe ukakwanga unanibaiya chocolate every once in a while, naweza kuwa nafurahia. Imagine a guy will take it and he'll understand, unataka chocolate, what type? Okay, probably you are like surprise me, so anaweza kuletea any type of chocolate. Kuna wenye watamwambia niletee like a specific brand. So it's important for you to know sometimes you really have to dictate the things that you want the guy to do for you, because ukikosa kumwambia as a lady, wewe ndio utaenda kukua frustrated, because mwanaume hajui and he doesn't know how to be romantic. He doesn't know, probably this is his first relationship. First of all, tunafaa ku understand, not many men end up in relationships, okay? So either wako situationship, they are in, you know, this to relationship wenye hata hatuna mbele ama nyuma, hawajaiambiana their partners in this thing. So you need to be very careful and know that usipoambia mwanaume how you want to be treated, if you don't tell him of his expectations, he will really not know what to do, because haujai mwambia. So hata ajuangi kama unatakaga maua, okay? Hajai assume unatakanga maua. So don't ever assume udhani vitu zingine si ni common sense. Maybe it's not common sense to that guy, because maybe he's not romantic. Why? Because maybe simse emotional, simse atima movie, simse ati atakaa chini ya watch drama movie ama romantic movie. There are men who are naturally romantic, but there are men who you really have to cultivate that romantic side in them. The other thing I think ladies assume is the fact that nona ile clause inasemanga ama pale kwa Bible yenye inasemanga the man is the head of the house. So sometimes I like to apply it even when it comes to relationship. Kukuonesha there's no relationship you'll go into with a man and think that you're going to be the head of that relationship. Ati wewe sasa ndio tutakuwa tunafuata kenye utasema. That relationship will quickly collapse. You know why? Because the man will feel, kwani tunafanya kenye unataka? Kwani we always do what you want? That's why even when a guy is awakened consciously, una realize, anakaa chini realize, by the have madam, it's like yeye ndiye anataka kuchagua ile siku mtapiga mechi, yeye ndiye anataka kuchagua ile siku utamuona, yeye ndiye anataka kuchagua ile siku utamuinvite. Lakini ukisema tuende on a date, ako very available, very free, hebu muinvite kwako, haezi kuja, okay? Ama anaanza kukuambia tu story mingi, lakini kupelekwa date, because hiyo ndio anataka, hiyo ndio atakubali. So it's important for you as the lady to understand that anytime a guy gets to that point and feels like niaje, by the way, you can't be the one at the head, unajifanya ati wewe ndio unaweza run your relationship. Hata kuacha run relationship yako and then you realize baadaye kumbe this guy is cheating. Why? Because he's not in control in that relationship. Sasa amekuachia control, wewe uendelee, ameenda na huko kwingine, okay? There's a lady who told me that women were not created to love, women were created to submit. I don't know how that's true and I don't know how many ladies agree with that, but alikuwa ananielezea mwanaume ndiye anafaa kupenda msichana tu anafaa kusubmit. And I think it kind of makes sense to me. Of course love iko, but it kind of makes sense to me that mwanaume ndio anaanzanga na love. So if you show the guy that you are now in the one in control na niye anakupe love, he will start to withdraw that love. Kwa nini? Because we always do what you want and you never consider what I want. So anytime una take for granted the things that the guy want, imagine ni kukutoka atakutoka. The other thing also you need to consider, and I think ladies also take for granted, is the fact that mwanaume always will look at the bigger picture, okay? When he's coming to you, akikuja kuongelesha, he already knows. And sometimes maybe hakuangi akijua at the point yenye mnaongea the first time, but after like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, anajua dem tunaenda wapi na yeye. So the guy will always see the bigger picture. So if it's you he wants, atakuwa naona the bigger picture. Kuna vitu hatafanya, you'll see there are things that he's going to be so considerate of. Na unaweza take for granted udhani probably this guy ni kunichezea na nichezea. Sometimes you might think he's taking his time. Sometimes unaweza dhani kwani this guy is not making his move, especially if he wants to be serious with you. Hata kimbia, you get, atajipea time, at least akusome, at least aone kama anawezana na expectations zako when it comes to being in a relationship with you. So I think women sometimes will ruin it because unajaribu kukimbiza mwanaume. Again, you are trying to take control of the situation. You're not letting the man to express himself. It's okay bringing up conversations na kumuliza, wewe unaonaje? Wewe unaona, are you serious with me? Kuuliza hizo maswali, are you serious with me? What am I to you? Vitu kama hizo ni poa. But then again, it means that you have to give the guy the chance to be able to make his steps, because maybe kuna reason yenye inafanya asicommit saa hiyo. Maybe ana feel finances ako chini, okay? And you see, a lady will tell you, mimi na understand, hata kama saa hiyo una do, mimi na understand. You enter a relationship with that lady and just one day she tells you something unashindwa. Si uliniambia unani understand, you know? Si uliniambia unaelewa situation yangu financially. And then she will just say something enye inaweza kuput off as a guy unashindwa, woi. Sasa huyu mtu ndio alikuwa ananiambia ati anaelewa ati sahi ati in the moment probably my finances are not right, okay? And let me tell you, the number one thing enye inafanyanga mwanaume asitake kuingia in a committed relationship ni finances, because anaangalia expectations zako, anaona udem anataka dates, anataka gifts, anataka nini. Si mbaya by the way, hizo vitu si mbaya as long as it's moderate, si mbaya. But the guy will look at his finances and see, can I be able to sustain this lady? Akiona hezi kusustain, na akiona hezi sustain your relationship yako ama your relationship yenyu na expectations zenye uko nazo, imagine the guy will move on, because atafeel mimi sitaanza kujipea stress juu ya dem. Let it just be casual, at least nitafute dem mwenye ananielewa, because at the end of the day there are ladies wenye you start talking to them. How you know a lady doesn't mind about your finances? Hakimbii kukuitisha pesa, hakimbii kukuambia ati wewe nifanyie nini, hakimbii kukuambia ati do me a favor. That's how a guy will know that huyu msichana by the way anaweza muelewa with his finances, ama anaweza muunderstand, anaweza muaccommodate with his finances hata kama ziko low. Lakini the minute tumeanza kuongea tu hivi, ushaniambia nifanyie favor, and most ladies will be like, unajua lazima niangalie kama ni mse stingy on the first day. No, imagine, give it time, at least ipe hata 6 months before umuitishe pesa, because kama unamuitisha pesa after 1 week ya kuongea, what do you think the guy, unadhani huo mwanaume atakubeba aje? You get, even if you think this guy akona dog, okay, even if you think this guy ako loaded, usikimbia kumuitisha pesa, because it might say something about you and he might take you the wrong way. Anaweza anza kukuona na perspective nyingine, aone ai udem. Okay, so nikimalizia nitasema a story that happened to me, and this was a lady tukua tumeanza kuongea nini, and sometime back she came and visited me at my office. Do you know, alikuja kama amenibebea snacks. So even if sikuwa nataka kuspend your dem, ama kama sikuwa nimefeel naweza nataka kuspend your dem, just because amefanya hiyo kitu naweza kaa chini niseme by the way dem, kuna venye amenifurahisha, kuna venye amefanya hivi na hivi, ni feel next time by the way I will want to reciprocate, because kuna venye amenionyesha gesture that yeye ako ready to spend on me, ama ako ready kunibaia kitu. So it's the simple things when it comes to men, you need to understand that as a lady.
Gachin Lion.